We're here today with Wendy Spencer, who's the CEO of the Corporation for National and Community Service, and we're here to talk about the intertwined history and beliefs and work of our two entities, the America's Promise Alliance and the Corporation. The Corporation was one of the founding entities of America's Promise Alliance back in 1997, and our work remains very connected. So, we advocate for the 5 promises: caring adults, safe places, a healthy start, effective education, and the opportunity to serve. Corporation is one of our great partners. We are this week celebrating AmeriCorps Promise Fellows, which was a special program that existed in the late 90s and early 2000s, actually still persists in Minnesota and Massachusetts, but has really been absorbed into the work that you do. So love to hear your thoughts on the Promise Fellows and how we work together now.
Well, first of all, congratulations on the great success that you've had with Promise Fellows and the AmeriCorps program. It's living in so many places now. I mean, and we're such kindred spirits in this mission. But 2 places, Minnesota and Massachusetts, still have robust AmeriCorps Promise Fellow programs. But actually, it's much beyond that. I would argue that the whole concept of the 5 promises for youth is living in almost every space where we provide a grant to around the country, working with youth. And there's 2 particular areas that is in my tenure here over the last couple of years running this agency that I have been listening to young people, that I'm learning from them of what's resonating with the promises. All of them are very effective, but I'm going to focus on 2. One is the caring adult. Young people have been telling me and telling those of us who are listening, we really want adults in our lives, but we'd like to have them not in the mode of telling us what to do every day and giving us advice every minute, but listening to us and hearing what we want and how we want to contribute to our community.
I love that. I love that. We did our big report last year talking to young people who hadn't finished high school to figure out what happened. And our big takeaway from that, as you know, was the first thing you got to do is you got to listen. Don't try to solve everybody's problems first. Listen. What are they saying? What are the challenges they're facing? What do they want from us? So I'm delighted to hear you say that.
And I think that's important. And so we're trying to really message that where we can all over the country, that programs are engaging young people either in service or they're supporting young people, so in their places. Now, the other Promise Fellow that I have to speak about, since I lead the Federal Agency for Service for America, is the opportunity to serve. Now, here are my observations about Promise Fellow idea and the 5 promises, which includes the opportunity to serve, which I think was so brilliant, is that my observations are when you offer opportunities for young people to serve, it accomplishes many goals. One is they serve with people sometimes different from themselves, different from their neighborhoods. They have an opportunity to make a difference in their own neighborhood. A lot of times we as adults assume that only adults can solve problems in communities. And I think we don't impose the idea with young people enough that you can make a difference. You don't have to wait to grow up to be a change agent. You can make a difference. And I even used my 6-year-old granddaughter who wanted to make a difference. She asked everybody not to give her presents at her 6th birthday, but to give to a charity, a leukemia charity actually, of a friend of hers who has cancer. Now, that's starting at age 6.
Right.
So don't tell me that you can't start at a young age to engage young people in service and what it teaches them. It teaches them tolerance and acceptance of other people. It teaches them skills that they can learn, they can take with them. It teaches them that being a citizen is about participating. And we don't have to wait to be 18 to start that. That can start even at 6.
I love that. So part of what you've done here recently, Wendy, I think really takes the spirit of the Promise Fellows, and that's the investments you've made through Operation AmeriCorps, all of which are focused on creating opportunities for young people. we put out a paper, as you know, last fall saying national service can be a huge driver of opportunity for young people because of caring adults, because of opportunity to serve, ways to create physical and psychological safety in after-school settings and so forth. All of that, and tutoring and mentoring, to help specifically with academic progress. So I'd love to hear a little about how your operation, AmeriCorps, is working now, because I sort of think of that as the modern embodiment of the Promise Fellows idea.
Well, I'm really excited about Operation AmeriCorps, and the big idea is that when our young people graduate from high school, that in the areas that want to step up and the communities that want to really focus on our young people, that they will have every opportunity afforded to them at high school graduation. They will have an opportunity to go to work. They will have an opportunity to do a paid apprenticeship, keyword paid. They will have an opportunity to go to college. They will have an opportunity to join the military. That's a great option for a lot of our young people, which allows them some college support and training for jobs. Or they'll have an opportunity to join AmeriCorps and do a year of service. All of these opportunities provide for a pathway for them to become an independent citizen and be able to have a successful career in life.
So, we're working on this high school graduation campaign. You guys have been very helpful in that. And the Promise Fellows in Massachusetts and in Minnesota are working specifically on that. Part of the challenge around graduating from high school is for young people, like, for what? What good is going to happen? So what I think the beauty of the Operation AmeriCorps idea is, okay, you got to get to this spot, but when you get to this spot, this set of good things could happen to you. Because I think there are lots of young people who observe what's happening in the world, and they think, well, they're the guys who didn't graduate from high school, and they're the guys who did, and I don't see much difference. So then they're 15 or 16 years old. If they don't see much difference, they say, why would I do that? So creating that feeling of hope, possibility, and community investment. Like, we believe in you, and we're going to help.
So I call it, high school dropouts, or those who leave or choose to leave high school earlier than graduating, are making a business decision. They've made a business decision that the reward is not worth the effort. So we have to prove, as adults and community leaders, that the reward is worth the effort to get that high school degree. And that here are all the rewards that we're going to do for you if you can get to that marker.
Right.
And then we don't abandon them at that step. There are high school graduates that are not going to be successful in college that first year if we don't embrace them and provide some extra support. There are high school graduates that are not going to be successful in their first job because they don't have a role model in their life who have had a successful, sustained job. They don't know what's expected of an employee. Okay. So we've got to stay with them at least a year for those who need it, sometimes longer, but provide that extra support. Just because they turned 18, they don't have everything, all the tools they need.
You talk about young people making essentially a business decision. Let's also remember, they're young people. They're 14 to 16 to 17 years old. And I don't know if you remember, but I remember when I was 14 to 16, 17 years old, not every choice I made was well-informed or the wisest thing that I've ever done. So that's why these young people need around them people who can influence the choices they're making, show them pathways, give them support, and so forth.
Yeah. Well, that's the idea behind the Operation AmeriCorps, is the entire community is going to say, we're going to embrace every single high school graduate in our community. We're going to ensure their success in life. And which is good. I mean, how great is that to live in that community? I want to live there.
So, and that is, to me, when that happens, that is the perfect example of what America's Promise was created for and what we believe in, which is that every young person has a full opportunity to reach his or her real potential, and that everybody in the community takes a responsibility for making it so.